when I first started, I was fortunate because my teacher was one that believed all paths were beautiful and that one path might not be for somebody. And as a teacher, it was my responsibility to understand all paths so that I could redirect a student. And so, you have Kundalini Yoga, one branch. And then you have your holotropic breath work, the power of the breath, the power of sound, for you to go to altered states of consciousness. In the altered states of consciousness, something inside of you knows how to heal you. It knows what you need. You just got to trust and go. So I'm Guru Mitar, and I'm a Kundalini Yoga teacher, a breathwork facilitator, and also do sound baths, and then Reiki healing. Yeah, so actually when I first started, it literally was, for me to start, physical practice. I wanted the yoga butt. I mean, that's truth be said. Wanted to look good, have a great body, and so I was Ashtanga based when I first started and spent many years in the Ashtanga realm. And that shift came when my divorce. So if you kind of look at life, we have these huge transformational moments in life, and they usually happen when a crisis happens. So it could be your career crisis, your health crisis. For me, it was the relationship crisis. Literally, my relationship was now either I was going to grow further in my relationship with that significant person, or we were going to grow apart. And that was my crisis. And through that crisis, now all of a sudden I realized, whoa, there's something more to this yoga thing. I was fortunate because I was already in my teacher training program. So I was in a 6-month intensive program. We did 6 months on our own, and then we were going to do a live-in residential 30 days together. So in that process of my 6 months, I found out I was getting a divorce. And I'd shared with my direct yoga teacher that, this was happening. I didn't know whether or not I should, fly to Thailand and be in that residential, like, oh no, come, this will be perfect. And so I went to Thailand and was in my residential part of the training, and I pushed through. I was strong. I didn't tell anyone that I was in a divorce. I knew my teacher knew, and I just I did the normal, pushed through. And one day he just sat me down and said, if you don't allow yourself to feel what you need to feel, your body's going to show it. And I didn't really understand what he meant by that at the time. And then he gave me an assignment that I had to go back to my room and cry for 45 minutes a day. And I was like, what? And that was my assignment. And so each day at lunchtime, we had a 2.5-hour lunch break, and he would send me to my room to cry. And I would just sit in my room and be like, this is ridiculous. Everyone else is getting to socialize, and I'm supposed to cry. And then he would check in with me and ask me, how's the crying going? And I'm like, I'm not crying. You just can't sit and cry. And so he asked me to start focusing on my breath. Focus on your breath. Breathe faster and deeper than normal, and let the breath guide your way. And I was like, okay. And so I went back to my room that day, and I just started breathing through an open mouth, faster and deeper than normal. And the tears came, and I had a complete meltdown. And I used all the toilet paper that I had in the room. But after the session, like that crying, like something inside of me just felt like almost like a release. So my crisis through my divorce, everything that I had learned up until then is to not allow myself to feel what I need to feel. So I believe that, be strong. It's heroic to push through, don't feel it. And so that's what I did my entire life. A strong woman, don't feel my emotions. And so when I went through my divorce, all of a sudden now my teacher was telling me I had to feel what I needed to feel. And so there I am, feeling what I needed to feel, because truth be said. But then I started to realize, wait, there's something inside of me that knows how to heal me. And through my breath, I started to see that. So with breath, obviously, I like to use the breath first to get you out of your head. We are head-tripping people. And so I like to use the breath to get you out of your head, back into your body, back into something that knows inside of you what to do. So I will lead a breathing session, get you out of your head, and then you'll go through wherever you need to go through. So for some people, you got to go through healings of trauma. Some people, you might go talk to your angels and guides. They might give you some clues. You'll do a lot of work. And if you think about all of this work, and now it's kind of like a broom. You sweep, you need a dustpan. And so the sound healing is the dustpan. It's like, now let's rejuvenate. So if you look at your gongs are like a sweeping through. It's going to sweep through all of the stuff, sweep it out of your consciousness. And then when you start to get into the crystal bowls and the Tibetan bowls, your body is basically taking in that sound current and reorganizing itself. So one of the hardest things for people when they come to one of my workshops is the first thing I say is you're not going to get what you want. You're going to get what you need. And it's like, oh, because, we're control freaks. We want to get this. And then, I come here for this healing. But that's actually what's gotten you in trouble, your mind. And so you have to just trust that something inside of you can work and know how to heal you the best. And that's got to get out of your mind. Make a choice to actually change your life now, when everything is going okay.